Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, the Hamsa Guhya Prayers, verse number 10 and 11. This has no translation, so I will read by myself. No purport, so I'll read by myself. Yuyam cha pitran vadishta deva devena chanagha praja sargaya hi katham vrikshan nirdagdhum arhatha. Translation. O pure-hearted ones, your father, Prachina Barhi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, have ordered you to generate population. Therefore, how can you burn to ashes these trees and herbs which are needed for the maintenance of your subjects and descendants? 6.4.11 Atishtata satam margam kopam yacchata deepitam pitra pitamahenapi Jushtam va prapitamahehi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather and great-grandfathers is that of maintaining the subjects, prajas, including the men, animals and trees. That is the path you should follow. Unnecessary anger is contrary to your duty. Therefore, I request you to control your anger. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here the words Pitra Pitamahenapi Jushtam Va Prapitamahehi depict an honest royal family consisting of the kings, their father, their grandfather, and their great-grandfathers. Such a royal family has a prestigious position because it maintains the citizens or prajas. The word praja refers to one who has taken birth within the jurisdiction of the government. The exalted royal families were conscious that all living beings, whether human, animal, or lower than animal, should be given protection. The modern democratic system cannot be exalted in this way because the leaders elected strive only for power and have no sense of responsibility. In a monarchy, a king with a prestigious position follows the great deeds of his forefathers. Thus Soma, the king of the moon, here reminds the prachetas about the glories of their father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. So we have chapter 4, we recently started the Hamsa Guhya prayers. And this chapter, it begins with the austerities that the prachetas, the 10 sons of Prachina Barhi, a devoted king, their activities. So these 10 sons, the prachetas, were devotees of the Lord, and they had received an order from their father, Prachina Barhi, and Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that they must generate population and spread progeny on the surface of the earth. So they had received that order. So first they thought that I must purify myself before I execute the order that has been given to me. It's a very good thinking. If we have been given some order, then you think like that, let me get purified, so that in a purified state I'll be able to execute that order properly. So they go and they execute austerities, and for thousands of years they are inside the ocean and they are executing austerity. 10,000 years they are executing austerity. So this is a pastime of the Satya Yuga. And after they come out of the ocean, after finishing their austerities, because for 10,000 years there was no ruler, they were the kings. They were supposed to rule the planet. Because there was no ruler, everything was, the whole planet Earth was run down with a lot of vegetation, trees and plants. So they didn't like that, the 10 sons, that why so much of vegetation has grown on the surface of the earth. It was all like, too much of vegetation all over the place. Nothing was clear. So because of the austerities, they had attained so much of power and strength, and anyway they had that power. They decided to burn all the vegetation with their power. They became very angry. So when they were about to burn the vegetation, at that time, the god of vegetation is Somadev, the moon god. The vegetation is under his control. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the taste of the vegetation, the taste of the vegetables that we eat is because of Somadev, because of the moon god. The moonshine is what provides tastes to the vegetation. This is the information Krishna gives in the Gita. So Somadev comes because he has to protect. Vegetation belongs to him. So Somadev comes, and here he is telling this. He is saying, O pure-hearted ones, he is addressing the Prachetas, you have been ordered to generate population, because of which you went and did austerity, and now you have come out, you should generate population. So, how can you burn up these trees and herbs and plants which will be needed for the maintenance of the population? Because human beings, they depend on food grains and the vegetation. Everything grows on the surface of the earth, the trees and plants and all the grains and cereals and everything. So why are you burning them up when you are supposed to create population and this is going to maintain them? You're not supposed to burn them up. And then further he says that the path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather and great-grandfather is that of maintaining the prajas, maintaining the praja, and all living entities are praja, not just the human beings, but the vegetation which you want to burn it up is also your praja. They are also living entity, so you cannot burn them up. And this is what your father, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather had done. So your duty is to maintain the subjects' prajas, including the men, animals, and trees. Praja is not just men, it is not just men and animal, but includes the vegetation. Because there are, out of the 84 lakh species, all are prajas and they are one species. And that is the path you must follow. And so they tell him, please give up the unnecessary anger. It is not going to help you in your duty. It is rather going to act contrary to your duty. And so I request you to control your anger and protect them. This is what the verse is. So here, if we see, there are 5 important points that comes out in this translation and the purport. The first point is, Somadev is reminding Prachetas of their order. The first point. You have received an order from God, from your father, and it's very important that you execute your order in right earnestness and do everything that is necessary to execute your order properly. So this should remind us also that we all, every one of us, have received an order from Guru, an order from Krishna, and we must be very conscious about executing that order in right earnestness. Right now, our state of affairs is that we are and we are actually, if we don't follow the order of Guru and Krishna, we'll be following someone else's order. which is our current state of existence. We are following the orders and the dictates of our senses. The sense is ordering me, do this, eat this, do that, sense gratification, do this, and we are simply blindly following it. This is the current state of existence. But no, we must follow the orders of God, the orders of Guru. Krishna is the order supplier, Prabhupada says, and we are the order carriers. Today, unfortunately, people, Prabhupada defines the word religion. He gives one of the definition of the word religion. An apt definition of the word religion is, religion means the orders of God. And as human beings, as children of God, our most important duty is to follow that religion or follow the orders of God. But unfortunately today, nobody is understanding God. Forget about the orders of God. And if people understand God, their understanding is only limited to not following the orders of God, but ordering God. When we go to temples or whenever they pray, the prayer is usually, God, please give me this, please give me that, please help me with this problem, please help me from that problem, this is my difficulty. No. This is like doing a business with God. We should not make God our order supplier. I should be the order supplier of God's order, not the other way around. Otherwise, it's like a business. God, please give me this, please give me that. This human form of life is not meant for that. The human form of life is meant to develop a love of God, for which I must follow what God is saying. And if we don't follow the laws of God, the religion, the orders of God, you can just imagine what will happen. Like if you take an example, you are diseased and you go and meet a doctor, and doctor prescribes some medicines, some diet. And if you don't follow the order of the doctor, what will happen? Will we ever recover? We will never recover. Any example, a student not following the orders of the teacher, a medical student not following the orders of the doctor under whom he is getting trained, it will be havoc. So similarly, following the orders of God is very essential for a happy life. And in fact, that is a prime duty. Just like a student's prime duty is first to order the directions of the teacher. A person who's diseased, his first duty is follow the orders of the doctor. So we must remember, we have received we are on the path of Krishna consciousness. We must always be conscious of our duty, the orders that Guru has given us. Prabhupada would say, I received the order from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in the year 1922, when I was just about 24 years old. Somehow, I was not in a position to execute the order immediately, but I always had his order in my heart. And I was always meditating on the order that my Guru has given me. And I was thinking, how will I execute this order? I want to execute this order of my Guru. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had given Srila Prabhupada the order. Go to the West and preach the Krishna consciousness, preach about Krishna. Krishna is not just a Hindu god or a sectarian god or Indian god. Krishna is the god of, he's Jagatpati, he is the god of the whole world, and you must take this message of Krishna. That was one order, preach in the West. And the second order Prabhupada had received was that if ever you get books, if ever you get money, print books. So Prabhupada says, I was always meditating on the order of Guru and how I will fulfill his order. And that is why I was able to fulfill this order even at a later age, because that meditation on the order was always there. So you see, in the same way, we have a very important order by Srila Prabhupada. We must preach, and we ourselves first must become great devotees. Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to be great devotees. He wanted all his disciples to be pure devotees. And it is not difficult. Prabhupada has given us such a simple method, the method of chanting Hare Krishna, which can cleanse us completely and we can please the Guru. So Srila Prabhupada, he was always thinking how to please the Guru. And pleasing the Guru means following the orders of the Guru and somehow trying to execute it. This way or that. Imagine the order was so deeply ingrained in Prabhupada's heart, and he was so deeply meditating that even at the age of 70, 69, ripe old age, Prabhupada is meditating how to fulfill this order. He is not concerned about his health. Sumati Morarji tells him, Srila Prabhupada, you may not survive if you go to West in this age, such a cold country with no acquaintance. But for Prabhupada, the order of the Guru was everything. Everything else was secondary. That strong determination. Yes, Guru has given me an order. I must fulfill, come what may. Prabhupada writes later in one letter to his disciple that for a disciple, the order of the Guru is his life and soul. And he should do everything to fulfill the order of the Guru. And he should be ready to even lay down his life for fulfilling the order of the Guru. See, these are the instructions. The order of the Guru is so important. So Srila Prabhupada wanted us, Prabhupada says, you should become like the moon. What is the use of millions of stars? They cannot dissipate the darkness of the sky, of the night sky, but one moon is sufficient. And I want all my disciples, he said once that all my disciples are like the moon. He was encouraging everybody. So this is the order we have received from Prabhupada. We must chant, we must preach, and we must meditate on this, that it is not, human life is not an ordinary, it's a very, very rare life. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante. After many lifetimes, Prabhupada says, you must perfect your Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. Don't wait for another lifetime. In one lecture, Prabhupada is saying, you should not think, yes, I am trying. I am practicing Krishna consciousness. So if I attain perfection, it's okay. If I don't attain perfection, anyway, next life is also there. Not like that. In this life, you must attain perfection. Don't take it casually. So that is the first point, the order that we have received from the Guru. And here also, Somadev is reminding the Prachetas that you have received an order and you must execute it and do everything by which you will be able to fulfill that order. The second point here is, he is mentioning that you have to be situated on the path of goodness. Because he was prepared to kill everybody, kill all the vegetation. Killing the vegetation is not on the path of goodness, it's on the path of passion and ignorance. So he's quoting that, Prachetas, your father, Pitamaha, Prapitamaha, your great-grandfather, Pitamaha, Pitra, Pitamaha, and Prapitamaha. Pitra means father, Pitamaha means grandfather, Prapitamaha means great-grandfather. All of them followed the path of goodness. And you must also follow the path of goodness. Don't kill them. So this is the second point, that we must always try to be in the mode of goodness. It's not easy because the mode of passion and ignorance will overpower sometimes. In the material world, it's like that. If you want it's very difficult to stay on the mode of goodness always, because the passion and ignorance are also acting. But we must try our best to be on the path of goodness, because path of goodness enlighten ones. Path of goodness leads to knowledge. Path of goodness gives one peace. Being on the path of goodness means there are chances to be polluted by the modes of passion and ignorance. This is mentioned everywhere. So how we can be out of the attack of the modes of passion and ignorance? You have to be on the path of transcendental goodness. Only then it is possible. Shuddha Sattva. And it is so easy, not difficult at all. Simply by we chant this verse, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. All dirt will be destroyed. How? By Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, simply by hearing the Bhagavatam every day. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, by chanting this wonderful words, by chanting this Bhagavatam, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki, Bhakti will be established in the heart. And then what will happen? The next verse is, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, Tada Rajastamo Bhava, Kama Lobhada Yaschaye. Tada, after that, Tada Rajastamo, Rajagun and Tamogun, Tada Rajastamo Bhava. Bhava means these feelings that arise out of Rajagun and Tamogun. Kama Lobhada Yaschaye, which all give rise to Kama and Lobha. Kama Lobhada Yaschaye. Cheter Eter Anavidham. It is Cheta Eter Anavidham, in the Chetaha, in the heart. The effects of Rajagun and Tamogun, Kama and Lobha, will be cleansed, it will not be there. And Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. And you will be established in the mode of goodness. Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. And you'll be very happy. So you see, so to be on the platform of material goodness itself is so difficult in the age of Kali Yuga. But here it is being, and this Sthitam Sattve, is this Sattva Sattvagun or Shuddha Sattva? In the next verse again it is said, Evam Prasanna Manaso. When you are situated on this platform of Sattvagun, Evam Prasanna Manaso, the heart becomes, you become happy. The mind becomes happy. Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. By practicing this Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata. Yogata means simply by contacting. Yogata means by contacting the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Bhakti. Yogata, you will become Prasanna Manaso. So being on the platform of goodness, or even being on the platform of Shuddha Sattva, is so simple. Simply we have to hear the Bhagavatam every day. Patiently, carefully, thoroughly. That's why Prabhupada always said, read my books thoroughly, every day without fail. Because this is the only way, there is no other way. Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam, by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam every day, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes at once arrested in the heart. Krishna can get arrested in the heart. Right now we are arrested by Maya. So to be on the platform of Shuddha, and everything has been given. Bhagavatam has been given, Prabhupada's wonderful purports are there. We just need to apply our mind to this process. And automatically everything will happen. The Vedic ritualistic way to be on the platform of goodness means so many yagnas, so many rituals, so many mantras, and so many this and that. Here you can be on the platform of Shuddha Sattva simply by reading wonderful stories. Can there be a simpler method? And wonderful philosophy. And we have the purports of a pure devotee. There are so many devotees who have experienced this just by reading 1 day, 1 hour of Srimad Bhagavatam. Immediately they feel a kind of a spiritual energy infused inside them. So this must happen. So this is the method to be on the platform of goodness. So this was the second point, that we must try to keep ourselves always on the platform of goodness. Otherwise, kama, lobha, which is rajas, tamo, result of rajas and tamo, will attack us. The third point here is that Somadev is telling the prachetas, do not be angry. So as devotees also, we should never ever try, or never ever become angry. There will be situations, there will be disturbing situations, but we must always try to remain peaceful. Trividham naraka, we should know, Trividham narakasvedam dwaram nashanam atmanah kama krodha tatha lobhas tasmadetat trayam tajet. Krishna is telling in the Gita that these three things, kama, krodha, lobha, lust, anger, greed, these are gateways to hell. And a devotee must give them up. There will be disturbance. This is the meaning of tolerance. Tolerance means what? There is a reason to become angry, but you tolerate it. At that time, if you try to understand, no, he said like this, or it happened like this, why he said like this, that means on a material platform you are arguing. But we have to control the anger. On a material platform, we cannot argue. Many times when we face certain situations, we forget this principle that even if somebody has done something wrong, we cannot become angry, because that is logical. If we say that, yes, he has done something to me and he is wrong, I am right, so it is right for me to become angry. No. Trinadapi sunichena taruriva sahishnua is that only. Even if there is a cause, even if somebody has provoked you, provoking means it's not your fault, still somebody is provoking you, you should still learn to tolerate it. We know the story of Bhrigu Muni. He goes to test Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. He was given a task by the rishis to test Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu and come back to the assembly of the rishis and report which deity is situated in the mode of goodness. So Bhrigu Muni goes for the test, and he decides his testing pattern will be, I'll offend all three of them. I'll purposely offend all three of them and see who can control his anger. So he goes to Brahma, he offends him. With Brahma, he does the lowest kind of offense, that he just offends him mentally. He goes to Brahma and does not offer him respects. Brahma is his father, and you have to offer respects to Brahma. He just stays like this. He doesn't even fold his hand, does not bow. So mentally he offends him. And Brahma becomes angry. Brahma becomes angry, but somehow Brahma is able to control his anger. So that is what, so he decided, so Bhrigu said, so Brahma is, he managed to control his anger by invoking the mode of goodness, but actually he was in the mode of passion because he became angry. Next he goes to Shiva, and Shiva, he offends him verbally. Brahma, he offends him mentally. Shiva, he offends him verbally. He says, Shiva was coming to embrace him, but he says, no, Shiva, I don't want to embrace. And Shiva is his brother. Shiva is Brahma's brother, Bhrigu Muni's brother. He says, don't embrace me. You are so dirty. You have not taken bath and you have applied that bhasma all over the place. I don't want to embrace you. And Shiva becomes very angry. Shiva comes to kill him with his trishul. And then he goes to Vishnu and he creates the biggest offense, the offense of the highest degree. Physically he offends him. Vishnu was seated with Lakshmi Devi, and he goes and kicks Vishnu with his leg on the chest of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu is not the least disturbed. See, he was provoked. It was totally wrong of Bhrigu. Bhrigu was testing. But Vishnu was not disturbed at all. Imagine, the Supreme Personality of God has been offended physically. And Vishnu is thinking, oh, my chest was too hard for you. I'm sorry, your leg would have, you would have felt hurt. I'm so sorry, please come, I want to massage your feet. I'm so fortunate that you have come to my place. You have purified my place. He's telling Bhrigu, actually Vishnu. There's no question of Bhrigu purifying Vishnu's place. Vishnu is the purest. And I'm so sorry that I did not offer you a good reception. So not only he's not angry, he's thinking it is his offense that he did not receive Bhrigu properly. Just look at the way Lord Vishnu treated. So we should remember this example always. How Lord Vishnu dealt with Bhrigu Muni. Always it should be there in the mind. Never, because as Bhagavatam said, if you become angry, your whole body becomes polluted from top to bottom. And in that state of polluted mind, body system, you cannot think properly. You cannot do anything properly. And you will be owned, everything that we do will be an offense. So this is the third lesson, never become angry. And the fourth lesson that we learn here is, what is the meaning of praja? Somadev is telling prachetas, you have to protect the praja. So praja doesn't mean only human beings. Generally we think praja, the praja of the state or the praja of this country are the human beings of the state or the country. No. Praja means everyone who has taken birth in the state or the country. That is the meaning of praja. Praja doesn't mean only my brother, my sister, my father, my society. No. The animals also. So Prabhupada says this result of this understanding of praja being only human being, this is an imperfect knowledge, and this is because of lack of Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna saying in the Bhagavad Gita? Sarva yonishu kaunteya aham bija pradah pita. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahad yonir aham bija pradah pita. Krishna is saying Sarva Yonishu means all the 84 lakh species, which includes the plants, which includes the animals. Aham Bija, I am the seed-giving father. So every species, including the plants, animals, they are all prajas and Krishna is their father. So if we just become Krishna conscious, we will understand Krishna is the father, all of these are the praja, all of these, they have a different body, that's all. Just like I will not distinguish between a beggar or a rich man. I know they are praja, but they have different body. So similarly, an altogether different body is the species. So we must protect them. Krishna says in the Gita, Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate. Madbhaktim labhate. So, if you want to get bhakti of Krishna, Krishna is saying, Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. We have to see, bhuteshu means every living entity, samaha, with an equal eye, compassionately, lovingly. Because they are also the praja of Krishna. And in so many places in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Pandit, a Brahmana, an elephant, a cow, a dog eater, all of them are equal. And only then Krishna is saying Mad Bhakti Labhate Param. So you see, this is such a simple formula. If you follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, there will be no animal killing. For an example, Prabhupada is quoting Mrigari. Initially, what was his understanding of praja? When he was half killing animals, Narad Muni comes and tells him, why are you killing animals? He didn't know. He thought, okay, killing animal is just an insignificant creature. When Narad Muni told him, no, they are also species, they are also living entities, you cannot kill them. And then what was the transformation that Narad Muni had? He was not ready to kill even an ant. Why was he not ready to kill even an ant? Because Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha, he came in contact with the Bhagavad Bhakti and then he understood, yes, even an ant is a praja, is a living entity, is a soul. He has his father, Krishna, so he is my brother. How can I kill him? So it is the lack of Krishna consciousness. It's a lack of Krishna consciousness that is a cause for all these imperfect knowledge and all these, different kinds of action. This is the fourth point. And the fifth point is, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, the current state of affairs. Very, very sorry state of affairs. Prabhupada writes, the modern democratic system cannot be exalted in this way. In this way means, that understanding that everybody is a praja, even an ant is a praja, the trees are praja. The modern democratic system cannot be exalted in this way because the leaders elected strive only for power and have no sense of responsibility. They're only after material power and no sense of responsibility. What is the sense of responsibility? I have an order. I should be in the mode of goodness. All the 4 points. And they are also my praja. We should not become angry. So they don't have any of these understanding, and so this is a sorry state of affairs. Now, if you apply, so these 5 points, number 1, we all have received an order, and we must keep that order in our heart, meditate, and think of how to fulfill it. Number 2, we should always try to keep ourselves in the mode of goodness. And the simplest way is by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Number 3, we must not become angry, even if there are provoking situations. Number 4, we must be compassionate to every living entity, because everyone is the praja whose father is Krishna. And if you apply, and number 5, the current state of, if you just apply the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, you see how these, and you apply them to these 5 things. The order that we have received from Krishna is actually chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. If you want to be on the platform of goodness, simply by being in touch with this Hare Krishna mantra, you can be on the platform of goodness. The Hare Krishna mantra, if you are chanting, there's no question of becoming angry. You have to chant, of course, attentively and with quality. Anger will be controlled. And by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, you will understand that actually you'll start loving everybody. And if the leaders take to it, then the 5th point, current state of affairs, it is said, Kaler doshanidhe rajan astihi eko mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha paramraj. Everything, iti shodashaka namnam kali kalmashanashanam. If you chant Hare Krishna mantra, our understanding of the world, our understanding of this creation, our understanding why we are existing, what should be our duty, everything will be cleared, and then the whole world will become a happy place. Prabhupada says that today's day and age will become like Satyuga, simply by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, because it can solve everything, all problems. Our vision will be clear. Right now we have an impaired vision. We don't know where we are heading. We don't know what's the purpose of life. We don't know what's our duty. And unfortunately, the leaders are also like that, not knowing what our duty. That's why Prabhupada says, when he had written in one letter to Indira Gandhi, he had written what all was, his demands, his asks were. And the first thing he was written, that all the members of the parliament should be chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Something like this he had written. Because it's the leaders who have to take this up. Then the whole world will be peaceful. So these are the few things in this verse today. We will stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.